Okay, we're going to take a look at what a control relay is, and that's what I have in my hand right here, okay? So what a control relay is, it's an electromechanical switch, all right? So far we've learned what a switch is like this, a push button. And the way that we learned what a push button was is we used our multimeter here set to continuity. I'll just check it real quick. You hear it beeping, and we learned that when I push the button, it became true. It closes. Okay. Well, a relay is similar in the switch side of it. That if I were to plug my meter into the contacts here, and I were to push the button, it beeps. Okay. I let go. It beeps when I push. So these two appear to be acting similar, but there is a big difference. The push button is activated by me. Okay. The control relay is activated by electricity, okay? It has a coil in it that causes it to close. What do I mean by that? Well, over here you have a coil. When you put electricity through a coil, you get a magnetic field. So over here you have some type of a switch that wants to get pulled towards the magnetic field, and when then that comes over, it closes, and you get a path for current, okay? So on our relay here, if you look at the side of it, let's see right here, you see that our coil is 17 and 18. So if I put electricity to 17 and 18, my contacts change states. So up here, I see that I have a 1 and a 2 are normally open, for example, and a 3 and 4 are normally closed. That means that when I turn this on, these open contacts close, and these closed contacts right here open. Okay, they change states. And that's similar to what we had going on with a push button here, that when I pushed the button, 1 and 2 were closed, and when I pushed the button, 3 and 4 got closed. The difference, once again, is I push this button. The control relay is actuated by electricity, okay? So to show how this is going to work, what I do is I've got a voltage source over here. So if I go ahead and I run electricity, I said to 17 and 18 right here, okay? And I've got my meter still set up here. Let's move that there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power onto this. So I'm going to run 120 volts to here, and then we're going to see what happens to the plunger here, okay? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn it on. Ready? And I'm turning it on. Notice that this plunger went down. I'll let the power go in a minute, and you can see that that plunger goes back off. Okay, I'll turn it on again, and I'll turn it off again. So you hear the meter beeping, and you see that the control relay is turning on or off if I put electricity there. Okay, so why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes you want an automated process to occur where, you just press a button, and then maybe there's a controller, a robot, whatever, that then controls the process and turns things off and on automatically. And the way that it turns things on and off automatically is with a control relay, okay? So we're going to go ahead and build a little circuit here. You learned a little bit about ladder logic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to hook up a push button right here, and I'm going to hook it up to the control relay, okay? Now, we said that the control relay, the part that we turn on, is 17 and 18. So I'm going to take this push button right here, and I'm going to set the control relay right here. Okay? So according to this, I would need power coming into my push button. Okay? I guess I could probably put it down here. It might be easier to see. Power into my push button. It would come out of my push button right here, and it would go to my relay. That's what's going on with 17 and 18 here, right here. So here's 17, and then 18 right here goes back to the other side of power, which I have right here. Here's my other side of my power. So I've basically built this circuit here. You can see it. Push button turns on the relay. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go and turn the power on, and I'm going to watch right here when I push the button. this is clicking, okay, when I push that button. Let me move it up here just a little bit to see. If I got my meter again right here, you would see that if I put my meter on 1 and 2, like I did before, there's 1 and 2. When I push this button, it beeps because this relay is closing, okay? So now I'm going to shut the power off so I don't electrocute myself. So now what we can do with this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my control relay right here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to run a light right here in parallel so that when the power comes and turns the control relay on, it's also going to turn on the light. I'm building up a little bit of a circuit here. So if I take my light right here, it looks like I have, coming out of the light, I've got two leads. One lead goes to 17 and one lead goes to 18. So it's just stacked in parallel. So I take these 2 leads right here, and I'm just going to put one on one side of the relay, and I'm just going to put the other on the other side of the relay. So now there's in parallel, I built that circuit there. I'll turn the power back on. When I push the button, I get the multimeter beeping because I'm in the contacts, and I've got the light going on. Okay? Turning off the power. Finally, I'm going to build a holding circuit for you. Okay? So now the way a holding circuit works is we already saw that the control relay has contacts that are closing here and contacts that are opening. So I'm going to take the contacts, the 1 and 2 contacts that are closing, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wire them in like this. Okay? So right now my 1 and my 2 contacts went to my multimeter. So I'm going to pull those out. They're up here, the 1 and 2, and apparently they go, let's put this here, 1 and 2, up to the push button. So if I just stack this on top of the push button here, and I stack the other one on the other side of the push button there, I have built this circuit right here. So what does this circuit do? Well, when I push the button, I'm going to turn on the control relay. And the contacts in this relay, the ones that were beeping a minute ago, 1 and 2, I've no longer got these hooked into my multimeter. I've got those hooked into the start button. So I can either turn this on with the push button, or I can turn it on if these close. All right? Let's go ahead and move this circuit up right here. And I'm going to turn on the power. And I'm going to push the button. Ready? I've let go. And it stays on. How come? A little bit of magic? Not really. I'm going to turn the power off. If you look at my circuit right here, you can see that when I pushed the button, I had flow through the control relay, and then which closed this, which allowed flow to come around here to the coil, and when I let go of the push button, well then this stayed on. So the control relay turned itself on, and it kept itself on. This is called a memory or a holding circuit. Okay, so once again, the relay has a coil and it has contacts. That's what's shown here. A coil and contacts here. Some open and some close. And one of the cool things that we use it for is to create this little holding circuit right here, so that when I turn this on and I push the button, the control relay comes on and it stays on. Okay, show you one last thing to prove it. I turned it on by pushing this button. If I push this top one down, it does the same thing. It stays on because I can either turn it on by the push button or by the relay. So those are kind of the control relay basics for this course.